And I now give the floor to Mrs. Aruni Wijewardane, the Secretary of Foreign Affairs from Sri Lanka. You have the floor, ma'am.
Distinguished co-presidents from Panama and Norway, Honorable Minister, Executive Secretary Dr. Floyd, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, let me at the outset congratulate Norway and Panama on assuming the presidency of the 13th Conference on Facilitating the Entry into Force of the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty. Let me also thank Italy and South Africa for their excellent work as previous Article 14 coordinators and the untiring efforts of Dr. Floyd and the CTBTO team in promoting the entry into force of the treaty. Consistent with our long-standing support for nuclear disarmament and non-proliferation, Sri Lanka ratified the CTBT in July this year. We do acknowledge that our treaty ratification process has been overdue. Sri Lanka was amongst the early first signatories of the CTBT in October 1996, just days after the treaty was open for signature. We are glad that we were able to complete the ratification process this year, further reinforcing our commitment to the objectives of the treaty and an end to nuclear testing leading to a nuclear weapons-free world. Sri Lanka has been contributing to the development of the treaty's objectives. Sri Lanka hosts, since the year 2000, an auxiliary seismological station, which is part of the treaty's international monitoring system. We have also actively supported the work of the CTBT's on-site inspection through regular nomination of national experts to attend training programs and expert meetings, and hosting CTBT activities within the scope of the treaty. Sri Lanka is pleased to have been selected to host the next on-site inspection integrated field exercise in 2025, which will bring together more than 180 technical experts and other participants from around the world. Sri Lanka will be the first South Asian country to host such a large-scale exercise, while being the second country in Asia to do so. It will serve as a significant opportunity for improvement of the on-site inspection capabilities of the CTBTO and identify opportunities for further improvement. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, in the current context of the rapidly deteriorating international security architecture, Sri Lanka identifies the significance and the increasing relevance of the normative value of the CTBT. We acknowledge the important achievements of the CTBT on its journey so far since its adoption 26 years ago, which includes the creation of a strong global norm against nuclear testing, its role as a solid confidence and security building measure, establishment of a global monitoring system, as well as the benefits of an international data center for scientific advancements of mankind. Despite these achievements of the CTBT and the progressive development of its verification regime, we remain deeply concerned of the prolonged delay in its entry into force. For effective pursuit of nuclear non-proliferation, the early entry into force of the CTBT should not only be a priority, but an absolute necessity, as it could be the first concrete step towards breaking the current stalemate on nuclear disarmament issues. We also wish to highlight that the progress in non-proliferation and disarmament of nuclear weapons should go parallel to the expansion of international cooperation in peaceful uses of nuclear energy. While a moratorium on nuclear weapons testing is certainly a measure that is in the interests of our collective security, it is not a substitute for an internationally legally binding treaty against testing. The non-testing norm cannot be taken for granted, and over time, it must be actively renewed and reinforced. Given our collective failure to adopt a consensus outcome document for the second consecutive time at the 10th NPT Review Conference last year, bringing the CTBT into full legal standing is compelling. In closing, we join the call of other states parties in urging those states yet to ratify the CTBT, particularly those states whose ratification is required for the treaty's entry into force, to do so. May I also say that Sri Lanka yesterday acceded to the Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons. We commend the extensive efforts of the Executive Secretary, Dr. Floyd, for his already successful and incremental efforts in increasing the number of ratifications to the treaty. I understand that since the last Article 14 conference, 8 states have ratified and 1 has signed, which is great progress. A nuclear weapons-free world remains our ultimate goal, and the CTBT plays a fundamental part in this process. Thank you. Thank you.
I congratulate Sri Lanka on the recent ratification, and I thank the Secretary of Foreign Affairs of Sri Lanka for her statement.